Hello, boys and girls. Let's continue with the story Seeds of Change. If you could please go to page 284 and 285, please. Okay, and in this illustration, we see Wangari and her parents. And remember, this is her brother. And I see books on the table, and I think those are books as well that the mom is giving her in her hand. All right, so let's read, boys and girls. Wangari's parents knew she was smart and a hard worker. Although it was unusual for a girl to be educated, they decided to send her to school. They knew she would not disappoint them. After some time to arrange for fees and supplies, Wangari's mother came to her. "You are going to school," she told her daughter. Wangari grinned widely and hugged her mother. "Thank you," she cried. "I will make you proud." Wangari walked the long road to a one-room schoolhouse with walls made of mud, a floor of dirt, and a roof of tin. In time, she learned to copy her letters and trace numbers. Wangari's letters soon made words, and her words made sentences. She learned how numbers could be added and subtracted, multiplied and divided. Animals and plants, she discovered, were like human beings in many ways. They needed air, water, and nourishment too. When Wangari finished elementary school, she was 11 years old. Her mind was like a seed rooted in the rich soil, ready to grow. Wangari wanted to continue her education, but to do so, she would have to leave her village and move to the capital city of Nairobi. Wangari had never been farther than her valley's ridge. She was scared. All right, boys and girls, let's discuss what we read. So Wangari's going to school, but because of her character, because of her personality, because of who she was, her parents decided to allow her to go to school. And there's two characteristics about her. In the first sentence, boys and girls, we learned that her parents knew she was smart and a hard worker. Because of these two characteristics of her character, her personality, the way she was, boys and girls, that's why her parents trusted her, and they knew that sending her to school was going to benefit her. It was not going to be a waste of time for her. And again, boys and girls, the next line, the next sentence, we learned that during this time in her land was unusual for girls to be educated. Let's look at the word unusual, boys and girls. Unusual means not uncommon, it's odd, it's weird, out of the ordinary. Unusual is the opposite of usual, so it was not common, boys and girls, for girls of her tribe to go to school, but her parents were sending her. So, and that made her very happy, boys and girls. Can you find some text evidence that proves, boys and girls, that she was happy that her parents were sending her to school? And if you pointed out, boys and girls, that she grinned widely and hugged her mother and even thanked her, that proves, boys and girls, that she was very happy about going to school. And boys and girls, her classroom, her school building is described here. It's creating a visual for me, an image, a one-room schoolhouse with walls made of mud, a floor of dirt, and a roof of tin. Boys and girls, that description, that describes the school that Wangari is going to be going to, attending. And boys and girls, if you compare it to our school, Benton Elementary, I mean, there is a big difference, boys and girls. Our walls are not made of mud, our floor is not made of dirt, and our roof is not made of tin. We're very blessed, boys and girls, that our walls at our classroom are made of block and cement, and we have tile for a floor, and the roof is also made of cement and brick, and we're very blessed, boys and girls. Um, and she went to school, boys and girls, and she learned a lot. And she learned especially that plants and animals are like human beings in many ways, that they needed air, water, and nourishment. Let's look up the word nourishment, boys and girls. And nourishment, boys and girls, is a synonym for food, nutrient, or sustenance. It is food. So she learned that animals and plants, they need air, water, and food too, just like we human beings do. And when she finished school, boys and girls, elementary school, she was 11 years old. And again, boys and girls, remember this is a biography. And one of the characteristics of the genre biographies is that it tells the story in sequential order. And in the previous page, the years were passing by because the author mentioned that the tree was growing, and so was she, so was Wangari. And here's, boys and girls, she is now 11 years old. So again, remember biography, it's told in sequential order, so time is passing by. And the next sentence, boys and girls, her mind was like a seed rooted in rich soil ready to grow. This is another figurative language, boys and girls, because of the word like, just like in the previous page. Who remembers which figurative language uses the word like when they're comparing two things? And if you said simile, boys and girls, good job. And the author's comparing her mind, Wangari's mind, as to a seed, that is rooted in rich soil, ready to grow. So her mind is ready to grow, boys and girls. That means that she wanted to continue her education. She didn't want to stop at elementary school. She wanted to continue learning. Just like the seed wants to continue growing. And that's what they're comparing her mind to, a seed. Simile. So in order for her to continue her education, though, she needed to go to the capital city of Nairobi. And let's look at that city, boys and girls. Nairobi, this is how the city looks like now. The capital of Nairobi, it looks like this now. Very metropolitan, big city. But I don't think this is how her city looked when she was growing up. But but this is how Nairobi looks like now, boys and girls. Okay, and she shared that she had never been farther than her Valley's Ridge. And let's look at Valley Ridge, boys and girls. The meaning of Valley Ridge is it's a long, narrow crest of something, chain of hills or mountains that divide, that separate. So, Valley Ridge, boys and girls, is a separation. Okay, and this specifically is the Great Rift Valley in Kenya. So, it's a great divide, boys and girls, from one side to another. Okay, and the last sentence, boys and girls, tells us how she's feeling. She's feeling very scared, but she wants to continue her education, but nonetheless, she's feeling scared about leaving her village to continue her schooling. But something tells me, boys and girls, that she's going to continue, she's going to go. All right, boys and girls, we'll continue the story in just a bit. Thank you, boys and girls.